Have you ever sat down for a delicious, greasy meal? Maybe a juicy burger with extra cheese, or a big slice of pepperoni pizza, and wondered exactly what happens to that fat the moment it disappears down your throat? Most of us have been taught to fear fat. We see it as this evil substance that sticks to our bellies, clogs our arteries, and is silently destroying our health. But if you look at the actual science, the way your body handles fat is one of the most complex, high-tech, and logical processes in the entire universe. Your body does not just take in fat. It performs a multi-stage chemical transformation that would put a modern oil refinery to shame. Most people blindly think fat goes straight to their stomach and then somehow ends up on their hips. But the brutal truth is far more fascinating. Fat is actually the only nutrient that takes a secret highway through your body, bypassing your liver initially and hiding from your bloodstream for hours. This is the truth the billion-dollar diet industry is refusing to tell you. Today, I am going to dive deep into the clinical physiology of fat absorption. I am going to show you the biological detergent that melts fat in your gut, the microscopic cargo ships that carry it through your system, and the insulin gateway that decides if that fat becomes energy for your neurons or storage for your waistline. By the end of this video, you will understand the deep biological mechanism of your metabolism and how to master your fat intake to fuel your life. But before we reveal the hidden journey of fat, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to support the channel. Here, we take the complex systems of your body and break them down using pure logic, so you can finally understand the machinery that keeps you alive. Right now, inside you, a magnificent system is at work. To truly understand how you absorb fat, we first have to recognize a massive problem. Fat and water do not mix. Your body is mostly made of water. Your blood, your cells, and your digestive juices are all water-based. But the fat you eat is, well, oily. If you just dumped oil into your digestive tract, it would sit there in big, useless clumps. It would not be able to move through your system or cross the physiological barrier of your intestines. This is where the first logical truth of fat absorption begins. Your body has to find a way to make oil mix with water. Imagine trying to clean a greasy pan in your kitchen sink. If you just use water, the grease stays on the pan. But the moment you add dish soap, the grease breaks apart and washes away. Your body has its own version of dish soap, and it is called bile. As soon as you take a bite of that fatty food, your brain sends a signal to your gallbladder. This tiny organ tucked under your liver releases a concentrated green liquid, the bile, directly into your small intestine. Bile is a powerful biological detergent. It surrounds the large fat globules and breaks them down into millions of tiny, microscopic droplets. This process is a biochemical reaction called emulsification. Logically, this increases the surface area of the fat, allowing your digestive enzymes to get to work. Without bile, you could eat all the healthy fats in the world, but your body would never be able to absorb a single gram of them. It would just pass through, leaving your microbiome and your cells starved of essential nutrients. Now that the fat is broken down into tiny droplets, the next stage of the logic begins. Your pancreas releases an enzyme called lipase. Think of lipase as a pair of chemical scissors. Its only job is to swim through the water in your gut, find those tiny fat droplets, and snip them apart. Most of the fats we eat are triglycerides. That is just a scientific name for a molecule that looks like a little letter E with 3 long fatty acid tails. The lipase scissors cut those tails off, turning them into free fatty acids and monoglycerides. This is not some magic trick or placebo effect. This is molecular biology at its finest. This is the only form in which fat can actually cross the wall of your intestine. But it doesn't stop there. We still have the oil and water problem. These fatty acids are still oily, and they are surrounded by the water-based environment of your gut. To solve this, your body creates micelles. These are like tiny spherical transport pods. They have a water-loving outside and an oil-loving inside. The fatty acids crawl into the center of these pods, and the pods carry them right up to the surface of your intestinal lining. It is like a specialized shuttle service that takes the fat from the center of your gut to the very edge of your internal border, preparing for the greatest journey of all. Here is where the story takes a logical turn that almost nobody knows about. When you eat proteins or carbohydrates, they are absorbed into your blood and sent straight to your liver via the portal vein. The liver is like a security checkpoint. It checks the sugar, filters out toxins, and decides where the energy should go. But fat is different. Fat is too bulky and, frankly, too dangerous to go straight into the blood. If your blood was suddenly filled with raw fat, it would become thick like sludge, and your heart would not be able to pump it. So your body uses a secret highway called the lymphatic system. Inside the cells of your small intestine, your body actually rebuilds those fatty acids back into triglycerides. It then wraps them in a heavy coating of protein and cholesterol to create a massive cargo ship called a chylomicron. These cargo ships are too large to enter your tiny blood capillaries, so they enter your lymph vessels instead. For hours after a fatty meal, these chylomicrons are floating through your lymphatic system, slowly making their way up toward your neck, where they finally empty into a large vein and enter your general circulation. This means that unlike sugar, which spikes your blood almost instantly, fat is a slow-release fuel. It can take up to 6 or 8 hours for the fat from your lunch to fully enter your system. But here is the craziest part. What happens once that fat is finally in your blood? Those chylomicron cargo ships are sailing through your veins, and they have a very specific destination. Every cell in your body has an address label for fat. Your muscles need fat for long-term energy, especially when you are walking or performing low-intensity activities. Your brain is made of nearly 60% fat and needs it constantly for structural repair and to protect your neurons. But there is another destination, your adipose tissue, or your belly fat cells. Here is where the horrifying truth comes into play, a truth the billion-dollar diet industry is desperately trying to hide. Most people think that eating fat makes you fat, but logically, fat has almost zero impact on your insulin levels. Insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store energy. If you eat fat by itself, your insulin stays low, and your body is more likely to use that fat for energy or to trigger a biological miracle of cellular repair. It becomes the ultimate biological cleanup crew, clearing out old debris and helping you heal from the root cause. However, if you eat fat with high amounts of refined carbs or sugar, like a greasy burger with a big white bun and a sugary soda, your insulin spikes to the moon. That high insulin acts like an angry traffic cop, shouting at those chylomicron cargo ships. It screams at them to stop. Do not go to the muscles. Do not go to the brain. Go straight to the belly fat storage. This is the real secret of fat absorption. It is not the fat itself that is the problem. It is the hormonal environment you create when you eat it. In other words, you are building a physiological trap for your own metabolism. We must also look at the logic of fat-soluble vitamins. Your body desperately needs vitamins A, D, E, and K to function. But here is the catch. These vitamins are only absorbed if they are dissolved in fat. If you eat a massive bowl of kale or carrots without any fat, you will absorb almost none of the nutrients. Logically, fat is the delivery truck for your health. This is why many people who blindly follow low-fat diets end up with severe vitamin deficiencies and poor immune systems. They have the nutrients in their gut, but they do not have the cargo ships to carry them across the physiological barrier. You need a certain amount of fat absorption just to keep your biological systems running smoothly and to achieve the gold standard of health. Understanding how your body actually absorbs fat changes everything. It is time to awaken from the 1990s low-fat lies. When you work with your biology by keeping your insulin stable and supporting your liver, you can eat healthy fats and use them to build a sharper brain, stronger muscles, and a more resilient body. You literally hit the reset button on your metabolism, allowing for root cause healing and even reversing the signs of cellular aging. Fat is not the enemy. It is the most concentrated form of life force energy we have. We just have to be the master logisticians of our own health. Thank you for watching this deep dive. If this video helped you understand the biological truth and you are ready to stop fearing fat, please give this video a big thumbs up to support our channel. What is one fatty food you used to be afraid of, but now you see differently? Let me know in the comments below. Do not forget to share this video with someone who is still trapped in the low-fat mindset. Stay curious and stay logical.